I got to take a break. I'm in the middle of a busy work day here at home, which is awesome. Um, but I need to make a quick update here. I realize it's been a few days, maybe since last weekend. I can't remember. It's a Friday, September 1st, and I am working at home. I'm doing training today. I did training yesterday in Winston-Salem. Spent 2 days in Greensboro office, in my office this week. And it's really cool to work at home. It's important, I think, to actually work at home when you're working at home. So I've been focused on my stuff, really trying to stick to a schedule. It's really good practice, I think. I've kind of have it as a long-term goal to be able to work at home. Maybe in the next 3 to 5 years. Kind of hoping to get something off the ground here with a channel for Christians that are dealing with mental health issues, or at least to tell my story, things that worked for me, things that I, am pursuing to stay out of the weeds, so to speak, of miry clay that the Lord helped me out of. But I just haven't had time. I should have known that once I started a new job, I'd be pretty involved with that. Now, a good thing is I really haven't brought any of it home with me. So in other words, like once I'm done for the day, I'm busy from 8 to 5. But once I'm done for the day, I don't think about it. So I do have the weekends and I do have the evenings. It's just been kind of a period of transition where, I get home and there's not much I want to do. Except maybe to take the dogs for a walk, do something physical. And I am trying to do that. Even though I will say this week's been terrible. Like, I've completely fallen off of the fasting bandwagon. Now, I haven't had anything today, but it's been pretty common for me to go all day till I get home 5:30 or 6, and then instead of just eating a low-calorie meal like I'm supposed to do, to really just pig out. Yesterday was the worst by far. I actually got pizza. That's something that you have to have intention to do, and I got a pizza. Jessica and Catherine were going to a ball game or something here in town. Catherine got free tickets for, and I didn't want to go, but I was home. So I just sat and ate tons and tons of pizza and watched the Waltons. Anyways, it's not been real healthy feeling. I'm still dealing, I think, with a lot of tendonitis pain. So the 1 or 2 days that I've gone for a walk this week, I've felt it the next day, or like later in the day. And I can see that my right leg is a bit more swollen than my left leg, so eventually I'm going to need to bite the bullet and go to the doctor for that. Just get checked out, try to figure out what's happening. If I do have a quadriceps injury, well, that's not just going to go away. And I need to be able to walk. I need to be able to be physical for my mental health. So, because the things are connected. But things are going well at work. I'm just trying to stay focused. I'm enjoying the training. People keep saying that I should enjoy it now while it's slow because I'm going to have be really busy. But the people saying these things are people who've worked in the human services field. And I know from past experience, working with state employees, working with people in human services, working for nonprofits, that what they think is all out crazy busy is really not that busy. If they were in corporate environments or in the private sector, then they would learn what busy really is. It sounds terrible to say, but I am happy to be back in human services so I can kind of like because I know how good it is. I know how good they've got it. That, just because you have to put in 6 hours of work a day doesn't mean you have it bad. Uh, you know, so trying to think what else there is. Jess and I didn't have an appointment with Dr. Sharp this week. We have it next week. Monday is Labor Day, so Jess and I are both off from work. So we haven't really talked about weekend plans too much about what we'll be doing. But we'll see. Things are going well. There's really nothing bad to report. Maybe one thing to report is I've been having some sex dreams lately. The last couple nights. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that means my libido is picking back up. I hope so. It's a bittersweet thing with the old libido, I don't want my thoughts to get away from me, but I also don't want to be totally dead in that area, which is how I felt for a while. And part of my problem with it is because of having resentment towards Jessica, for years, I've sort of blocked that channel, blocked the input from her. And so it's like my mind and my dreams don't go to her, or at least they haven't been. They go to other women that I've known. My thoughts, and even in daytime hours, will go towards, other women that I see or whatever. And that's where my thoughts will go to, sort of on autopilot without really my input, or without my direction. So I have to go grab them and bring those back to reality. And that, just talking about reality, it did jog my memory on something that I read this week, which I really liked, which was from Dr. Burns' book, the Feel Good Handbook or the Feel Good Manual, something like that. I can't remember what it's called. But he said that the objective of CBT was not positive thinking. You hear that kind of in different environments, maybe schools or pastors or coaches or teachers will tell you, about the power of positive thinking and that you need to think positively. And his point in that, in the first or second chapter of that book, was that the goal is not positive thinking, because it's true that you can have a negative filter of the world and the way you see things and process things, but you can also have a positive way of viewing the world that's not based in reality. That's kind of think what my son was doing, or what a lot of Christians I've known have had this magical thinking. The way they're viewing the world is everything is positive and I'm blessed and blah, 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 when really they're just not dealing with reality. They're escaping reality. So Dr. Burns was saying that the objective of CBT is to think realistically, to face reality, and of course in my mind I'd made the connection between what it says about Jesus. John 1:14 says, we beheld his glory. The glory is of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth. And just thinking about that, I was like, well, we love the grace part. We love lots of us, that's kind of the positive side of it. Grace, 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 hallelujah, I'm in grace. And you ask people, well, how you doing? Oh, I'm blessed, Well, the other side of it is the truth. And the truth is often painful. And the truth, we would view it as often negative, or harsh or spiky. And certainly Jesus was that way, So grace and truth. He said to the woman that the people were going to stone, where are your accusers? Neither do I condemn you. But then he said, so she had the grace, of the master. But then he said, go and sin no more. And there was the truth part of it. And he said that to a few people, don't go back to the state, to the things that you were. And it's interesting because a temptation is always a positive thought. It's always a positive promise. Temptation is if I look at this pornography and jerk off to it, I'm going to have a dopamine hit. I'm going to feel, this is going to feel good. These women are going to look good. So I'm going to get something out of this, and it's going to really feel good. But the reality is that you can wank yourself raw 5 times, 6 times a day, and you feel completely empty and sick inside yourself. Okay? Or the alcoholic says, I'm going to have this one beer. It's going to taste good. I deserve it. It's a positive. It's going to fulfill this promise for me, and it's going to make me feel great. Maybe that one beer does, but then the next positive thought is, well, 2 would make me feel even better. And then you're on the floor with peanut shells on your face 7, 8, 9, 10 drinks later. And so I just thought that was really interesting, that the goal is not to think positively. The goal is to face reality, to deal with life the way it really is, and not the way that I think it should be, not with some skewed perception of it, either positive or negative. I thought that was interesting. Anyway, I'm going to get back to work here. It's been 12 minutes. I'll make another update soon.